Hey everyone, okay, so this video came about because it's a completely different one from the normal sort of videos that I do. And it came about because I was seeing the comment section over and over again that people were saying stuff like, oh, I just come here to listen to you speak. And that was just bizarre to me because I don't think I have a particularly nice voice. It's not a radio voice or anything like that. And I actually filmed this video a couple of days ago and then uploaded it tonight. And then I had to take it down because I realized that I was reading something from a book and I probably couldn't do that on YouTube. So this is being filmed literally right this minute and it will be uploaded in the next 5 minutes or so. So what I wanted to do in the previous video was read to you a chapter of my favorite book because I just thought it was ridiculous and funny and just bizarre to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is tell you about the book that I really like because I love to read. I'm listening to books in the car and I read while I'm at home. So without further ado, let me tell you. So the first book and the book that I based this video on is called Dirty Weekend. And it was released in the early 90s and it caused such an upset when the book was released. And it's not a pornographic book, the title Dirty Weekend. It's really not about that. It's about a story of Bella who woke up one morning and realised she'd had enough. And it is her story over a weekend as she basically, it's this phoenix rising. She goes after all the people that have wronged her or basically bad people, bad men in particular. And she is fearless and it is an incredibly brave, brilliant. And that book always stuck with me. And it's a book that I mentioned to my friend Jill, who is Victoria's Health, because the way it's written, I love the way it was written, and Jill writes so beautifully. So it always reminds me of that now as well. You can actually see the film of it if you really want to here on YouTube. I believe it is being shown on YouTube for free. But the book is so much better. It's a dark book, but it's wonderful. But also, I'd just like to just give you a couple other little books of mine that I really love. So the other one is Flowers in the Attic, and I read that book when I was a teenager and I loved it so much. I thought it was so awfully sad and beautiful at the same time. And I read Petals in the Wind after that and I was crying my eyes out. My mother came into my bedroom, she was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, because it has this really special place inside me. So I think it's a wonderful book. Another book that I absolutely adore is completely different. It's called The Schwarzbein Principle, and it is a health and diet related book. And she is an endocrinologist and she breaks things down in a way that is so beautifully put. It is an incredible book on health and vitality. It is a wonderful book. A makeup book that is truly outrageously brilliant is the Rae Morris, and it's the original book, which I believe was called the Ultimate Makeup Guide or the Ultimate Guide. It is amazing. It's the only book that I've ever seen where there's eyeshadow all over the face after the eyes have been done. It shows all the fallout and the cleanup. It is an exquisite book, and I actually believe that it was being taught in makeup schools as a curriculum. It was that good. It's an amazing book. Another makeup book that I really like is by Robert Jones, and it's called Makeovers, I believe. And it is so beautifully done, and the makeup in it is subtle. The eye makeup is very subtle. It is a highlight, a mid-tone and a contour, and it's not all up here or it is subtly done and beautiful. And one other book that I read in my sort of early 20s when I was going through a bit of a patch is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Now, I wish I could say that I do, because sometimes I absolutely don't, but it's one of those self-help books that you don't actually read like a novel and go, oh, that was good, and put it down and pick up your next self-help book. This was one of those books, there was actually information that you could go, oh, I can use that, I can do that now. And it is an enlightening book, and I love it. I know this isn't the kind of video that I normally do, so I do totally understand that, but I just wanted to amuse the people who write and say that they are just here to listen to me speak, so I think it's so sweet. And that was really it. We'll be back to makeup and all that kind of stuff next week. I've got a really good one for you, which is about how to apply foundation with a foundation brush. And I know a lot of you might think it's very simple. It's really not. You see it all the time. People struggling with applying foundation because you get a foundation brush and you're like, this should be so simple. Why isn't it working? And it is so simple once you know why it's not working. So that video is coming out. I've also got video on the Beauty Blender Bounce. So if you see my Instagram today, it was just an extraordinary day with that. So I've got a video coming out on that. And I've also got another video coming out on the Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette, which is so beautiful. So I'll be talking about that too. And just before I go, I want to make a mention, because somebody made a comment that said, you review a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products. It's very interesting because it can seem that way, but when you look at it over the breadth of everything I've done and the videos over, say, 2 months, it really isn't a lot of reviews. I'm just including bits and pieces in things. So it's rare that I do dedicated videos about something solely, but I will with the foundation, and I will, which is the Bounce foundation, and I will with the Pillow Talk, because it's one of the most beautiful palettes. If a palette was created for me, it would be that one by somebody else, because it is a warm pink chocolate brown and it is just exquisite. Anyway, that's my favourite books. Dirty Weekend, Schwarzbein Principle, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Flowers in the Attic, Rae Morris and Robert Jones. Quite extraordinary. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to go and sit at the computer and watch this upload. Bye bye.